Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing, I think, our third project video, which is the multi-page website. Now this is probably going to be the biggest website you've ever created, and it should also be very relevant. So what I mean by that is that the other two websites were very, fun, you could do whatever you want, but this one should be a bit more serious. Try to find a topic that is interesting to you. It doesn't have to be, about science or math or like any academic subject. Like it could be about Minecraft, but it should be very serious. There should be like a lot of details and descriptions within the paragraphs. You should have lots of images and videos. You should make the color scheme look nice. It should take you a lot of time because it should be very nice. It should be something you would want to show others proudly. Like, look at this, I created this. Okay, with that said, let's get right on to the video. I'm going to be showing you how to import fonts. Okay, so we can do custom fonts. We don't have to use the fonts given to us by HTML itself. And then I'm also going to be showing you how to embed videos. So I have one right here. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this is checkpoint number 1. And this might be a lot, but we're going to go over each part of the code that you see right here. Okay, including how to get fonts from Google. Okay, so the first part that we're going to look at is this div class container. Now, the reason why we have a container, and this container is going to hold everything, is because right here, our body is the entire website, right? But I want to make like a box. You see, like I'm making a box and there's going to be content down here. And then outside the box, I'm going to add a background image. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a bit. But as you can see, we have the headers and stuff like that. And then we also have this cool little nav bar that actually like hovers and turns, a different color. So it looks kind of natural, right? It's called a transition, and I'll get into that later. Basically, this is the HTML for it. It's very simple. You should have learned this already. The class header, and then we have h1, h3, and then the nav bar, and we use 3 A tags, and then we add margins to them. So let's look at the styling right now. Oh, and by the way, these HRs are basically like line breaks, so they add a line. So if you want to have like a line kind of breaking things, then you can use HR. Okay. Now, general CSS. So I basically copied this from the catalog video and then changed it a bit. So I'm not going to go over too much, but so now we're going to go over the background image for this. And as you can see, it looks kind of nice. And I'll talk about what my singing monsters is in a bit. But I changed something right here. So before you might have seen it was like 106% by 106%. I just realized that that's not the best practice, so just use cover. You already know what cover does. It just basically, covers the entire screen. And then you could obviously do center. You could do like background position, center if you want to, but I didn't. And I also added margin top because I wanted to move the box down a bit, the container. And then I made the container a width of 70%, so it doesn't span the entire page. So it looks kind of like a nice box. And I'll show you in a bit how it look like with the content, right? I also changed the transparency here. So this is the fourth value, the alpha value. If there was no transparency, it would basically just cover up the entire, background. But if you have the transparency, then let's put it back to what it was before, I think. Did I reload the page? Yeah, see, now it looks kind of better because now the monsters are shown. Okay, now this is how we add the fonts, right? This is the CSS for the fonts. So we do font family and then whichever font we imported and then the type of font. And I'm going to get into that in a bit. And then finally the nav bar. Text decoration none. We'll remove the underline. And then all of this is kind of obvious. This is again using the custom fonts. Now this is something where you probably haven't seen before. It's called a transition. So basically we can transition the color and the font size to the A:hover. And you've probably seen this in the navbar video, but basically what A:hover does is this allows us to change the style of a property of a tag when we hover over it. And the transition basically says, okay, so we need to transition the color from dark green to whatever color is the a colon hover. And how long do you want that transition to be? And we also do that for the font size. This could be for any property that has some sort of value like color, font size, text shadow, anything like that. So you can play around with that as well. And you can search up the transition property. There are a lot of different effects you can do, but color and font size are what most people like to do. And play around with the colors as well. Now for the fonts, it's very simple. You basically search up Google fonts, right? Let's say I want this boring roboto style, okay? So here is where we import the link. So we basically copy this, we put this in our head, and then when we want to use the style, we basically copy this. Very simple. Now let's get on to the actual content and the multi-page website. So right now these links actually don't really do anything, right? So home takes us to home, but we're gonna add links to them, of course. So yeah, let's do that right now. And I'm also gonna show you how to embed videos. So that's kind of fun as well. Okay, so here we are. This is our final product. Now I know I didn't add text or anything like that, but it's kind of obvious how to do that. You just basically type text relating to your image. So I wanted to give you like a template. I didn't really want to dive into the why am I saying monsters is fun or stuff like that. By the way, it's a mobile game, and I'm kind of addicted to it, and it's pretty interesting. So you guys can check that out, but I'm not gonna really talk about it too much. Okay, and then we got the best islands and the best monsters, and they're actually linked, and we linked it to a video, which is probably something you guys haven't seen before, but we can play the video. I'm not gonna play it because then you guys are gonna laugh at me. So let's get into the HTML of this, and it's very simple. So we have another div, and we call it class of content. And whatever's inside the content is up to you. However you want to organize it. You want to have two images right here, like one image here and one image here. Go ahead, use display inline block. You like go crazy, like whatever you want after the nav bar. Just make it look nice. That's all I'm asking. Okay. And if you have any questions on how to lay out your website, please ask us. But basically, I did a very simple, introduction, image, paragraph. Introduction. Well, not introduction, but like header, video / image, and then the paragraph. So the styling of this is actually nothing. I didn't style this at all. But the one thing I do want to show you is the multi-page websites, which is right here. So we created a new HTML page called topislands.html, topmonsters.html, and the way we've linked them, if you've already seen, is this nav bar. We said topislands.html in the href, and it takes us to the HTML file right here. Okay, now the one thing that we didn't go over, which I said we would, is the iframe or the YouTube video. So YouTube makes this very simple. Okay, so here we are on the YouTube page. So this is the plant island, and this is the coolest sounding island in my opinion. If you guys want to hear that, then you can search it up for yourself. And basically you just click embed. So you share and then embed, and boom, it gives it to you. If you want to start somewhere, like let's say like 56 minutes, then you can do that if you want to. I usually don't do that, and I just copy this. And you should have the player controls enabled because you do want them to like maybe pause the video or fast forward or stuff like that, right? So we copy that, and then we can paste it like right here. And you can also change the width and the height depending on how big you want the image to be. Or you could change it within the style as well. You could do like iframe, blah, blah. So I know I didn't really go into the details of how I created the website, the thought process. I just went over, the cool looking nav bar and the new way of creating a website, which is like adding a background image to the entire body. I do want you to experiment a bit with this. I want you to try things out for yourself. Go back to previous videos, like maybe the catalog video, maybe create a 2x2 grid. just play around with it, make the best looking website you can, because now I want you guys to use your own creativity instead of me being creative for you. Okay, but if you do have any questions on how to do a certain thing, please feel free to ask us. That's all I have for today. See you guys.